Arneson for those that are just dropping in for the first time, and this is Pacific Northwest Exposed, and for those that might be following along, welcome back. I've been up to Royal Basin in the Olympic National Park many times, and I just don't get tired of it. I've logged it many times, and if you were to scroll back quite a ways on previous videos, you will find several vlogs, various times of the season. The snowpack up here was heavy this year, and so my intent was to get up here when it was mostly snow, and it's just about half. I wanted to shoot up top here when it's white, and so I'm not disappointed. There's still quite a bit of snow, but it's amazing. Reports for this area, I think July 4th or thereabouts, or even earlier, it was pretty much snowed in, but that ultraviolet, as soon as it starts, it just takes care of the snow. So anyway, I wanted to get up here and I can't get enough of it up here, and I visit it annually, and so the sky is crystal blue, not a cloud in the sky, and on the way in you hit Royal Lake, and I've explained this many times. You can see previous posts, and then you come up through Arrowhead Meadow, and then you come up top to Upper Basin, and you dump into this beautiful basin here at the foot of Mount Deception, and the Needles here, Walkinshaw in the background, and Imperial Tarn right here in the center, and it's just spectacular. So I'm pretty wiped out. Often I have done express style trips up here with light gear and just a light bag and my camera gear, but not today. It's a little awkward with about 40 to 50 pounds of gear, because I'm staying overnight. So I've set up my tent here right up above Imperial Tarn, and the light is just intense. So my hope is when that sun gets low behind the peaks there, just start picking out some compositions. What's also nice is there's a huge moon, and it might have peaked last night. People that I passed today said that it was pretty spectacular. In fact, it woke one couple out of their sleep. It was so bright. So I don't know what time moonrise and moonset is, but if I'm fortunate, that moon will come up and just light this whole basin up. And so really, I think that would be the highlight, is just catch that moon glow throughout this whole snow-covered basin. And the Tarn, Imperial Tarn here, several others, streams, waterfalls, and it's just a paradise, and that's what I'm after. So I'm going to walk around with my camera here, and as I pick out some compositions, I'll check in with you. On the way in, I always stop, because the trail, you dump in on the north side of Royal Lake, and I take my iconic shot as I first arrive, and I did that earlier. And then there's a beautiful meadow, Arrowhead Meadow, and I've mentioned that also in previous vlogs and have footage of that. And then there's also on the far side of the basin, there are falls that dump down, and the trail up is on this side of those falls. So the falls pour down, and it's quite phenomenal. I didn't stop by Royal Falls, which are just outstanding. Maybe tomorrow as I head out, I'll head over there. The thing is I don't know if I can access them. I have before. There were snow bridges in the past, but I might just take off the boots and shoes and just wade across the creek and get on up there and do that. So these tarns are just beautiful. It's a silty, greenish blue almost, and you have this tarn here, and runoff from all of the snow and creeks that run down and then clear down the valley. So again, the ultraviolet's so hot that I'm going to wait a bit and catch some other exposures and composition. So wait for this intense ultraviolet to settle down a bit. Just as a review, Royal Basin is accessed through the Upper Dungeness Trail, and about a mile in, you enter the Buckhorn Wilderness if you choose to head into the Upper Dungeness Trail. But you keep going, and it's 8 miles into Royal Lake, and then another 0.9, I call it 10, to Upper Basin here. So I'm a bit, like I said earlier, worn out with 45 pounds of gear. So I'm just taking it slow. Feels good though. Backcountry, so it's backcountry permit, and I've mentioned in other vlogs as well, under the left shoulder of Deception you can skirt over and enter into Deception Basin, which takes you south from here and forever, and various trails, countless trails through the Olympics. I'm on the west side of the basin now. Sun is just now starting to peak. We're actually set behind, so I've been waiting for that. This ultraviolet is just incredible. And so all of this water from Imperial Tarn here and these various smaller tarns, because of the snow melt, runs down into the system, down the valley, which creates Royal Falls, and that's on the west side. So as you come into Royal Lake, you take a right, head over to the ranger station. You can hear the falls, and there they are, and they're quite splendid. And again, I mentioned earlier, there are falls on the east side of the basin. There it goes. Finally. Now we got some shade. Nice cool breeze running through here. It keeps the insects down. Much appreciated. The device news and update. I finally ditched the DJI Osmo Plus. I've been packing that around with me for a long time, and it's bulky. It had a case, and I kept it in there to protect it, and it just added weight in the pack. So this is my trial run on this trip with the DJI Action, and I think I'm going to be pretty satisfied. Even more so, it's nothing. I just put it in my pocket and go, versus a handheld in a case and all of that. So as I mentioned, if you had been following along, it's been failing quite miserably over time. So it's gone, and hopefully this will be my new vlogging camera, in particular for out in places like this. Just grab and go. So I just came from the far side there and went up about midway on that bank and then shot down that runoff there, which I was saying creates Royal Falls. A little precarious, as you can tell. The water runs in many places underneath the snow. So at one place I just about bit it right down there. Fortunately, carrying my tripod with me and poking along the way. So didn't get wet though, but yeah, it can be, as the melt continues, a bit precarious in places if you don't watch out. A lot of this is repeat, of course, from many vlogs previous, but I just enjoy it up here so much. I just can't help coming back. Previous trips, in particular, me and a friend of mine who took me up here in 2012 initially, we actually ascended up there, and there's a Deception Basin up there, and he tried to summit one of these peaks and we had some issues, but there's another basin up there that's pretty phenomenal. So anyway, then we kind of at the base of that peak there, and we dropped down. And that particular year, we hit that, I call it the grassy knoll, and we just kind of came down along the top ridge line there, and it was just loaded with wildflowers, just phenomenal. And then we dropped down on the right of that gravel washout there, this side of those crags, and dropped down, and then made our way back to the center of the basin. But yeah, you can just walk and climb for miles. A couple coming in tonight, they were going to head in and probably ascend up to there, I believe, and camp, and then tomorrow they're going to hit Deception, which is the second largest peak in the Olympic National Park, second only to Mount Olympus. Just as I do on the lake when I come in, my iconic shot, which I did first thing when I arrived today. I always have to shoot this tarn, basically from the same location. And I just took a few exposures at f11. But using f11, I focus stacked, and I'll show you what I did. I took 3 exposures. This fir here, of course the boulder in the foreground. So I brought this fir into focus, and then across the tarn to that ridge of trees into focus, and then the top of those peaks into focus. So hopefully when I stack those, they'll come out pretty crisp and clean. And of course my iconic selfie, which I don't do many of, but set my Canon on 10 seconds and ran up there and got to do it. So that's sunset, getting pretty shadowy. It's great, but chilly too. Fortunately the insects are gone. The cold temperature at night just gets rid of those, so pretty nice. My tent is set up over there behind that clump of trees there. All good to go. So I'm going to run now over to these sets of streams, and that's where I come up from the lake and Arrowhead Meadow, and there's some nice streams that just flow from these peaks. So grab my camera and head on down. So I wandered across the basin a bit, and there's two nice little streams. Obviously this one coming off those peaks, and then there's another one here running off from that side. And I focus stacked this image by bringing in that F11 again. First of all, the water, and then about midway between the water and the top of those peaks, and then brought into focus the top of those peaks there. So again, hopefully those will stack real well. This is the edge of Upper Basin here, and I did quite a bit of footage of Arrowhead Meadow, which is down below, and then the lake is clear down below that. But this is where you come up and enter the basin right here.